U.S. forces may soon begin shooting down drones operating along the southern border, amid growing concerns about the threat that transnational cartels pose to their border security operations. U.S. Air Force General Gregory Guillot, the commander of the U.S. Northern Command, testified before the House Armed Services Committee on April 1st, discussing the range of challenges his command faces, including supporting the multi-agency effort along the U.S. southern border. Among his concerns, Guillot noted the prevalence of unidentified drones operating along the U.S. Mexico border. Cartels may be using these drones to probe for gaps along the border that they can exploit for drug and human smuggling purposes. Cartels may also use these drones to directly target U.S. troops. From the sands of the Middle East to the muddy trenches of Ukraine, various armed factions around the world have used explosive-laden drones to devastating effect. Complicating matters even further, Guillot testified that the current rules of engagement along the border leave U.S. personnel unsure what they can do to stop this threat. Guillot, whose command concerns North America, testified as to recent incidents with drones operating near U.S. military bases and other sensitive installations around the country. These recent drone sightings have fueled concerns that hostile actors are spying on and gathering critical information about American military bases. The NORTHCOM commander testified that Title 10 U.S. Code Section 130I provides the U.S. troops with the clear authority necessary to shoot down drones operating around established military bases and other sensitive installations. As for the border, the authority to shoot down these drones is less clear.
The forces on the border at this time are not, because they're mobile, and so I've put in a request for 130I to be expanded to include U.S. forces within 5 miles of the border.
Speaking at the April 1st House hearing, Representative John McGuire recalled hearing concerns from U.S. personnel stationed at the border.
What I heard from every one of those groups was they can see drones coming from Mexico. They can see where they're coming from, and they're hovering around our Border Patrol vehicles. They're hovering around our military bases.
In February, the New York Post published excerpts from a memo that they reportedly obtained from the U.S. Border Patrol's El Paso border sector, stating their intelligence units had, quote, received information advising that Mexican cartel leaders have authorized the deployment of drones equipped with explosives to be used against U.S. Border Patrol agents and U.S. military personnel currently working along the border with Mexico, unquote. In an October report, Gray Dynamics, a UK-based private intelligence firm, assessed that drones have become such an integral part of cartel operations that these groups have established their own fabrication sites in Mexico City, Guadalajara, Monterrey, Querétaro, and Tijuana. While no clear instance has emerged of cartel actors flying an explosive drone into U.S. personnel working along the border, U.S. Border Patrol agents have come under small arms fire in the past. Texas authorities reported 2 ranchers were killed, and a 3rd rancher was seriously injured in January after driving over an explosive device in the northern Mexican state of Tamaulipas. The trio of ranchers had worked on both sides of the U.S. Mexico border. The rising concern about cartel drones comes as the Trump administration has moved to designate several cartels and other transnational gangs as foreign terrorist organizations. Now, if U.S. troops do get the green light to engage, what will that look like? For years, the U.S. military has been developing measures to jam drones. Sometimes seen as handheld devices, these jammers can interfere with an operator's control capabilities and in some cases cause the drones to fall out of the sky. The military has experimented with other non-kinetic means of stopping drones, such as lasers. In 2019, the Marine Corps began training with a prototype known as the Compact Laser Weapon System, or CLAWS, produced by Boeing. In 2021, the Marine Corps published footage showing a successful test drone engagement using this system. In January, however, the service revealed to Laser Wars that it had quietly pulled the plug and returned its CLAWS systems back to Boeing. A Marine Corps spokesperson offered few details about why they discontinued this CLAWS program, but said the service had, quote, decided to invest in more deliberate programs of record, unquote. At the end of the day, the preferred method for stopping cartel drones may be good old-fashioned firepower. The U.S. military has been closely monitoring the rapid evolution of drone warfare tactics in Ukraine for a guide. As explosive one-way attack drones have become more common, both Ukrainian and Russian forces have been observed using shotguns and other small arms to halt drone attacks. Learning from the war in Ukraine, units like the Marine Corps' low-altitude air defense battalions have increasingly trained with small arms like machine guns, rifles, and shotguns to take these drones down. Firepower may be the most surefire way to stop a drone threat, but that may not be the one-size-fits-all solution, particularly in populated areas along the border. So, is there a real drone threat growing on our border, and will U.S. troops get the go-ahead to fire on these drones? If you've watched this far, consider subscribing and leave a comment letting me know what you think.